I call this meeting of the Solid Springs Planning Commission to order. Roll call.
Song. Montgomery. Sally.
Here.
Kinney.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Driscoll.
Here.
Kenzie.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. First order of business will be the election of a secretary. As you are all aware, the past chairman has resigned and two of us have moved forward. So I'll open the floor for nominations for secretary.
I'll nominate Commissioner McKinney to be the secretary.
Have a nomination for McKinney for secretary.
Second.
Are there any further nominations for the office of secretary? Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? I'll entertain a motion to cease the nominations and elect McKinney by acclamation.
By saying aye? Just checking.
No, I'll entertain a motion. I cannot make the motion. I'll entertain a motion to cease nominations and elect McKinney by acclamation.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next action is approval of minutes of the meeting of July the 14th, 2020. I think you all have received those minutes. Is there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing or seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as published. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next order of business is rezoning development permit, RZ 20-07. This goes before the Board of Directors on October the 6th, 2020. Ben.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commission. Ben Rhodes, Senior Planner. Before I get into my presentation, I do want to welcome our new Commissioner, Brian McKenzie, to the Commission. So thank you, Brian, for being here. So before you is a rezoning development permit occurring at the 1000 to 1200 block of East Kenwood Street. The request is to rezone a 4.56 acres from R2 to C2 roadway commercial. In addition, the applicant desires to construct a 57,720 square foot storage facility, and I will be presenting both permits together as they're occurring on the same property. Here you see the full site plan. You'll note the detention basin is located along the south side of the property. This is abutting along Highway 412. Sidewalks are shown on the north side of the property along Kenwood Street, and a fee in lieu will be paid for the sidewalk on the south side. The reason for that this is not included is due to the rail bridge, which will need to be reconstructed eventually to accommodate the additional lanes along Highway 412. When that's widened someday in the future to the 3 lanes on both sides. So they're holding off on the sidewalk for now. I'd also like to point out the proposed lot that's planned in the corner there from the main parcel. That lot split application was submitted on September 1 and is currently under staff review. The purpose of the proposed lot is to allow for a billboard, which by code needs to be erected on its own lot and cannot be shared with a principal lot. So that's why they're requesting that lot split. This is the same site plan, but a little more zoomed in for you. I'm showing this so you can clearly see the parking and other site details to how the property will function. The applicant is requesting a 30% parking reduction on the basis that the storage units in themselves do not generate high traffic demand. Despite nearly 500 plus units, there projected to only be about 5 to 10 users on the site at any given time. Staff is supportive of the requested parking reduction. And in order to accommodate the interior parking, the drives are designated as shown with arrows, one way in along the center lane, and then with the outbound traffic along the outside lanes. The arrows will be painted so that users will be guided as to how to navigate on the site. Similar wayfinding is what you might find in a parking garage, where vehicles are told which way to turn to get in and out. Here is the landscape plan. Trees are preserved where possible along the property edges. The builder will add temporary construction fencing to protect the trees that are designated to be saved. Here is the elevation view, just generally showing what these will look like. All metal buildings. And here's the what the project will look like when it's overlaid onto the aerial photo. You'll note that the no access is planned on the south side of the lots. Staff believes adding an access on the south side will present certain safety issues with vehicles that are using the acceleration lane from Highway 59 to merge into 412, which is basically right here. So as they're merging in there, to have a driveway coming out there would present potential safety concerns. So all access will be along the front with this driveway. So because you're also considering the rezoning in addition to the significant development permit, I'm showing you the future land use map. So as you know, is the primary guide for all rezoning decisions. You'll see that the proposed site is consistent with the map's guidance, which is showing that would to be future commercial, which is the red shading on the map. And finally, you're looking at the site. This is to the north from the site view. Staff is recommending approval of both the rezoning and the significant development permit. On the significant development, we are recommending with the following staff suggested conditions, and I will cover those really quickly right now. The first is that the rezoning be board approved. As you know, this is R2 zone now, so you would obviously have to have that zoning for the significant development. Secondly, the applicant must file the lot split survey, which has been done, turned into staff for review. It's not filed until the final comments are made and returned back to us, and then filed at the Benton County Courthouse. Thirdly, that the final project complies with all exterior lighting standards. This will be determined once the lighting plan is submitted. The fourth condition on the drainage easement actually can be expunged. The applicant has addressed this issue since the writing of the staff report, and so that's no longer required, the fourth condition. And then finally, the applicant must pay street and sidewalk fees, and all these conditions are required prior to building permit issuance. With that, staff stands ready for any of your questions. Thank you.
Are there any comments from or is there a representative here of the property? Any comments from the audience? Comments or questions from the board? Ben, I have one question. This is a curiosity question. Is there any plans on, will the current condition of Kenwood Street be fine for the additional traffic that will be incurred with the development of this?
Yes, we looked into that, and again, due to the low traffic volume relative to some of the other users along Kenwood, we don't anticipate there'd be any significant traffic difficulties with Kenwood.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for the rezoning development permit.
I would make a motion to approve, striking recommendation number 4.
I'm sorry, we have to go to the zoning permit first. We have to, that's the development. We have to do the zoning permission, rezoning first. I have a motion to approve rezoning permit RZ 20-07.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Whoops, I'm sorry, my apologies. Roll call.
Montgomery is not here. Okay. Sally.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Song.
Yes.
Motion for rezoning, rezoning RZ 20-07 is approved. This will go before the board on October the 6th. Now I'll entertain a motion for significant development 20-04.
I'll make a motion to approve significant development permit SD 2004, subject to staff's conditions excluding number 4 on the recommendations.
I have a motion to approve a significant development 20-04 with the recommendations of staff with the exclusion of recommendation number 4. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
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 Kenzie.
Yes.
Approval of significant development 20-04 will go before the Board of Directors on October the 6th, 2020. Next is staff approved permits. Ben Rhodes.
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Chairman and Commission. So we're transitioning on today's agenda to the staff-approved permits, which are all informational only. I will cover each of these and then open it up for questions at the end. So before you is a lot line adjustment requested at the Heritage Ranch addition Phase 2 for the benefit of the future street connection into Phase 3. As you may recall, this was a condition on the preliminary plat for Phase 3. The lot adjustment allows for the 2 residential lots here, and I'll point this out, to adjust their side setbacks to comply with the code, given that the lots will be converted from the common side-bound lots to corner lots, with the existence of a new street coming in off of that. So here is the site plan that was provided by the applicant. You'll see the future right-of-way in the center with the adjusted property lines. Staff does not have an update as to when Phase 3 of Heritage Ranch will commence, but hopefully shortly. And the easements for this project were accepted by the board on September 1st. So moving on, the next permit is a lot line adjustment permit requested 17870 Ridgeway Drive. The request adjusts the lots facing the street so that the rear lot, which is out of the subdivision, has access from Ridgeway Drive. This is all happening in the Meadowood edition, which is south of town. This is the site plan. You'll see the proposed opening on the north side of the lot. That is the connection off of Ridgeway. And so the new lot behind will be added to the Meadowwood subdivision. It's currently considered meets and bounds, which just means it's not an official lot of the subdivision. So it's going to be included in with Meadowwood. And staff has approved this permit subject to the board accepting new easements, and that did occur on September 1st as well. And then for this permit, you're looking at a property behind the Jonathan Barnett warehouse on Highway 16 South. This is just west of the Day Springs facility. The request is to adjust 2 tracks in the Allen's 16 addition, and in doing so, create a new lot or a new lot line in what they were calling the Beehive addition. And so here's the site plan. So this is basically a single lot subdivision for lot 1 that will connect with dedicated access out to Highway 16 there. There was a previous access easement from Highway 16 to lot 1, but the owners wanted to have their own deeded access connection out to the highway. With that, this also went to the board for easements on September 1st. And then lastly, you're looking at a lot split that occurred at the 1000 block of South Washington Street and also the 600 block of East Kenwood. Some of you may recall that there was a condition on the significant development permit for the Cornerstone Office Park, which was approved for this site, that the applicant would later apply for a lot split. And so here is that lot split. This keeps the future auto business on its own lot, lot 1, with lot 2 retained for the future storage buildings and office park. The easements, including the drainage, are shown according to the needs per the approved significant development, and were accepted by the board on August the 4th. And finally, here's the image of that site looking to the north. And staff is available for any of your questions on the staff approved items that I've just presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Are there any comments from the board? Hearing no more comments from the board, prior to asking for an adjournment, Brian, welcome aboard. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you at the beginning.
Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All approved significantly by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion accepted. We are adjourned.